Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great time here in this conference, listening to a lot of awesome speakers, very interesting topics. So my name is Sandeep Devarpalli. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO at Datazip. At Datazip, we help companies build and manage data pipelines 10x faster. Uh, Today, my talk is going to talk about an average business user at a company has a lot of unstructured data, and they have to depend on data scientists, data engineers to be able to take something out of it. So my workshop actually is to give you something hands-on that you can try it out and feel the power of how you can use engineering pipelines, data pipelines, LLMs to get data that can give you insights, day-to-day insights, etc. Thank you. So one of the most important data point is that a lot of data, that is about 80% of the data, is logged in unstructured data, which is like your PDFs, emails, and your Google documents and presentations, lots of it. Every time a HR or a person who's going to hire receives a lots of CVs, etc., it is so difficult for them to really go through them and get insights out of it, to screen them properly, and so on. So these are some of the data, like practical examples that you face on a daily basis. And one of the biggest problem is that when you're dealing with unstructured data, it's difficult to kind of always understand how best to organize it and run analytic queries on it. When it is structured data, it's very easy because you kind of handle it as a table. But when it is an unstructured data, it becomes very complex. So just a very brief example on, or like a introduction on how the ETL transformation process works. So when we say ETL, the first part is extract. So here, the most important thing is your data is in a source system, whether it can be a database like MongoDB or Postgres. It can be your documents which are kind of stored in your S3 or object store, or you also have different APIs that you will be getting data from. So the challenge is to be able to establish connection to the system, be able to reliably bring that data into a central location. That is what we mean by extract. And when we mean by transform, a lot of times people have to, because of the complexity of this data, they have to transform it in a way that you are able to bring some structure to it and eliminate those data points that you don't want so that you are able to deal with a reasonable set of data points. And then you load it. Load it basically is feeding it into a basically a system like a data warehouse or another data lake, etc. And you are able to do insights on it. So that's a very basic understanding of ETL. Uh, the new what has changed over the past few years is that so far people had to use OCR or those kind of technologies to be able to extract data, especially unstructured data, and bring some structure to it. But now, because we have LLMs and that to vision models and so on, it has become much more easier and faster to extract data and be able to use it. And that is where your document LLMs, like many of these, like Google's document AI and so on, have come up, which are very easy to use. And you can basically, uh, like it's very easy to kind of extract information out of it. But there are some challenges which we'll talk about. So what we have done is we have used a set of pipelines that we have created. We have used Daft, which is a processing framework, which is based on a mix of Rust and Python. What is specialty about it is that it is able to kind of parallelize the workloads, and it can handle from GBs of data to petabytes of data. So that's the biggest advantage this particular framework has. We have used Streamlit as a interactive web application so that you can very easily use it to kind of interact with the application. And we use DuckDB as a store for this particular data pipeline. And if you look at the architecture or the workflow, essentially a user uses a Streamlit UI application to be able to upload the required PDF. Here, this PDF is basically an invoice, and we store it temporarily as a data frame, use Daft to process it, and then we do a Gemini Flash API call to convert that PDF into an invoice JSON. And then we kind of store it as a table in DuckDB, which again you can see it in Streamlit. So this is the pipeline that we have used. And you have all the processes like extract, being able to extract the data, that is invoice extraction. Then you have transformation, which is basically being able to transform the data. And then you load it into a data warehouse, which is DuckDB here. So I'll give you we have particularly separate function lines on for the Daft helper, how it works, how it interacts with DuckDB, and then where the code logic lies. Uh, this is a repository. You can try it out. It's public. Uh, it's very like it has some instructions, but I'll go through them. It's a Dockerized container right now. So this is how the application looks once you start the Docker. Essentially, what happens is, in this corner to your left, you can see that essentially there's a input box to feed in your Gemini Flash key. Once you do that, you have an ability to write a custom prompt. So this prompt is designed for being able to extract information from an invoice. But the advantage of this openness is, because you are able to show it to the user, you can easily change this prompt to suit any kind of PDFs you're going to upload. Imagine you're going to upload a set of CVs and you want to extract or basically some kind of information like what was their college, what was their undergrad, what was some of the important companies they worked in, etc. And want that as a field from every CV, that it can also do as well. And then you can basically be able, once you kind of save your key, and then you upload a couple of files, here invoices, for example, and then you can click on process the documents, and it'll start processing the PDFs. And then once it is processed, it will give you a list. There's a table which will have certain kind of columns that it's available for you to download as CSV and take it further, right? So that is a simple, this is a basic kind of a application. Like I said, you can kind of easily use it for multiple things, so that an average business user can actually, so what happens here is, the data scientist will focus on maintaining the pipeline, and the business user can now has the flexibility to kind of play with the logic as their interests, so that data doesn't need to get involved again. So that is the advantage it has, which gives you the kind of flexibility and scalability. Like I said, you can definitely check out the flow in this manner. Uh, yeah. So actually, this pipeline is very scalable even now, and you can also make it. Although it's not enabled by default, but it can handle a lot of parallel work. It can handle easily even hundreds of GBs of data, and it can also be made more future ready. I would recommend you to try it out with Document AI from Google, which has a lot of. So what happens is, it is able to give you structured output, helps you be able to handle lots of edge cases, complex PDFs, etc. So you can check out their page. They have some more use cases also mentioned. And one of the challenge right now why cannot be done very easily is that the schema is not same for even every PDF that you are going to upload. It can vary dynamically. So you have to ensure you have to do some ways to be able to get that output done in a very standard format for you to do the analysis. So that is where some techniques like being able to pre-train it much better, making it more task specific, or even mixing in kind of a little bit of OCR and other things to make it more accurate. These are some of the strategies that you can use to make it work for you if you have very complex use cases. Like one example I want to give you is that today the world is moving very fast, and already companies are leveraging these kind of workflows into their software applications. Like this application is now telling me that if I get an invoice I'll get an invoice whenever I pay for this subscription, and all I need to do is send them an email and those invoices an attachment, and it'll automatically update my the payment CRM with the invoice, attach the invoice details. So this way, what happens is you are able to basically leverage LLMs and other workflows to be able to make the life of the customer easier, so that, and at the same time, you're able to automate tedious and manual tasks that people don't really have time to do. So this is huge because it will give you a lot of business impact. At the end of the day, when people are able to have that data and use it for particularly their insights and decision making, it can lead to a lot of competitive advantage that can help people and the company. So this is it. It's, please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for listening.
Thank you. Any questions for Sandeep? Any questions? Yeah, so if there's any questions, you can take it outside the hall. Sandeep will be available. Thank you, Sandeep, for the insightful session. Yeah, thank you.